Imagine starting every day with what you thought was a heart-healthy breakfast, only to discover it's quietly increasing your risk of stroke. You've eaten this breakfast for years. It's light. It seems healthy. It's what you've been told is good for your heart. By the way, if we haven't met before, I'm Dr. Aidan Szabo. I break down real, honest health tips for people over 60 every single day. No fluff. No pharma nonsense, just what actually works. But here's the question. What if that familiar feel-good breakfast is actually one of the worst choices you can make after 60? I'm not talking about fast food or obvious junk. I'm talking about the stuff labeled low-fat, natural, even doctor recommended. Sounds extreme, maybe, but according to one of the top heart doctors in the country, with over 30 years treating seniors just like you, there's a common breakfast food that's been quietly damaging older hearts for decades. And the worst part? It's hiding in plain sight. Right there in your kitchen. Right there in that well-meaning bowl you serve with fruit or skim milk, or a sprinkle of flax thinking you're doing it right. But here's what you need to know. This food, this supposedly healthy option, has been linked to increased inflammation, arterial stiffness, blood sugar spikes, and cognitive decline in older adults. And if you're over 60, your body can't handle it the way it once could. So stick with me, because in the next few minutes you're going to learn what this misleading breakfast really is, why it's especially dangerous for aging hearts, joints, and brains, and what you can eat instead. Simple, satisfying options that cardiologists now recommend to reverse inflammation, not cause it. Now I want to pause for a moment and say this clearly. This isn't about fear. This isn't about guilt. It's about empowerment. It's about giving you the truth, the kind the food industry doesn't profit from, the kind most doctors don't take the time to explain, and the kind that could make the difference between waking up energized or waking up stiff, sore, and foggy. Because here's what most people over 60 don't realize. Your metabolism changes. Your hormones shift. Your body processes sugars, grains, and oils differently. And some foods that used to be fine are now triggering silent inflammation day after day. Inflammation that starts small but grows into joint pain, heart trouble, fatigue, memory lapses, and eventually, dependency on medications you never wanted to rely on. But here's the good news. There's an easier way. No extreme diets, no fancy supplements, just smart natural swaps, grounded in real science and real results, straight from the plate of a respected cardiologist. And I'm going to walk you through it step by step. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. Where are you watching from today? Drop it in the comments below. I love seeing this community grow. And if you're someone who's serious about protecting your heart, about staying sharp, mobile, and independent as you age, hit that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because what you're about to hear might just change how you eat and how you age forever. There's one breakfast food that looks clean, feels healthy, and has been hyped for decades as the smart choice. But if you're over 60, it may be doing more harm than good. That food? Granola? Yes, even the fancy. 12 a bag organic, low sugar, gluten-free, or whole grain versions. You see, granola has a halo effect. It's marketed with earthy packaging, words like ancient grains, and sometimes even a doctor's note on the label. You pour it into your bowl thinking, this is a smart, clean start. But beneath that health-conscious branding lies a dangerous truth. Most granolas are loaded, and I mean loaded, with hidden sugars, processed inflammatory oils, and preserved dried fruits that spike your blood sugar and inflame your body. Let's look closer. Just half a cup, which, let's be honest, is less than most people pour, often contains over 15 grams of sugar. That's nearly 4 teaspoons, and that's before you add milk, fruit, or a drizzle of honey. Too late to eat like your health depends on it. Because it does. Even the so-called low-sugar brands often use sweeteners like brown rice syrup, maple crystals, or evaporated cane juice. Sound natural? Maybe. But your body reads them the same as refined sugar, and your blood sugar spikes all the same. And the oils? Here's where it gets sneakier. Many granolas use canola, soy, corn, or generic vegetable oil. They're cheap, shelf-stable, and keep the clusters crunchy. But these oils are highly processed, often oxidized, and linked to inflammation in blood vessels, especially dangerous for older hearts. Add in dried fruits like cranberries, raisins, or banana chips, preserved in sugar or sulfites, and now you've got a breakfast that feels light, but hits your body like dessert. You might not feel it immediately, but over time, this morning habit can raise triglycerides, spike insulin, promote belly fat, fuel chronic inflammation in your joints and blood vessels, and even fog up your brain by mid-morning. Inflammation is now known to be a root cause of so many age-related conditions: heart disease, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, brain aging, and memory loss. So that innocent bowl of granola, it might be quietly doing the exact opposite of what you hoped, aging you from the inside out. Let's make this real. Go to your pantry. Grab the granola you eat most often. Flip the bag over and look at the ingredients. Do you see any of the following? Brown rice syrup, evaporated cane juice, honey listed near the top, canola oil, vegetable oil, or soybean oil, natural flavors with no explanation. More than 8 to 9 grams of sugar per serving? If yes, put it back. It doesn't matter if it says heart healthy on the front. It doesn't matter if it's sold at Whole Foods or came from a health influencer's blog. If it's spiking your blood sugar and inflaming your arteries, it's not the right choice, especially after 60, when your body's tolerance changes drastically. Small daily choices, like breakfast, become big levers for how you age. Now listen closely. This isn't about shame. It's not about scolding you for trying to do the right thing, because you were doing your best. You were following the advice that's been repeated for decades. Eat whole grains. Watch your fat. Choose low-fat granola with fruit. But marketing isn't medicine, and your health deserves better than clever packaging and vague promises. Here's the truth. Your body deserves real nourishment. Food that supports your heart, fuels your brain, calms your joints, and keeps you strong, mobile, and sharp, well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. So if you've been eating granola every morning, don't panic. You haven't failed. But now that you know, you can choose better. And coming up next, I'll show you exactly what a leading cardiologist recommends eating instead. It's easier and tastier than you think. Let's go straight to the expert. Dr. Gerald Marrow isn't your average doctor. He's a board-certified cardiologist with more than 30 years of clinical experience. And much of that time has been spent working directly with seniors. He's seen it all. Heart attacks that seemed to come out of nowhere, arteries stiffened silently over time, and diets that did more damage than good, even when the patient thought they were doing everything right. And in a recent interview, he made a bold, eye-opening statement that's sending shockwaves through the wellness world. Granola, he said, is one of the most misleading foods for seniors. It raises triglycerides, spikes insulin, and stiffens arteries, the trifecta of heart aging. Let that sink in. This isn't coming from a trendy wellness influencer or some TikTok diet hack. This is coming from a man who spent decades in the trenches, reading EKGs, analyzing blood panels, monitoring heart scans, and helping real people over 60 stay alive and independent. And what he's seeing, again and again. Older adults who think they're doing everything right, starting the day with healthy granola, maybe even adding skim milk and berries, only to end up with sky-high blood sugar, constant inflammation, and a slow, steady decline in energy and heart health. He says these seemingly innocent breakfast choices are quietly sabotaging the very systems they're supposed to support. So why is granola especially bad news once you're over 60? Because your body doesn't handle sugar, grains, and seed oils the way it used to. Your metabolism has naturally slowed down. Your insulin response, the way your body processes carbohydrates, is more fragile now. Your ability to bounce back from inflammation, reduced. What might have been fine or no big deal in your 30s or 40s, a little sugar here, a handful of dried fruit there, a bit of vegetable oil to hold it all together, can now lead to a slow cascade of issues. That mid-morning slump you feel, that joint stiffness that seems worse each month, that forgetfulness or foggy feeling that sneaks in around lunchtime. All of that could be linked to your breakfast. And it's not just a bad day, it's your body waving a red flag. One of the biggest culprits? Granola's combination of high glycemic load and inflammatory oils. These drive up blood sugar, trigger a rapid insulin response, inflame your blood vessels, and yes, harden your arteries over time. So what should you eat instead? Dr. Marrow's recommendation is refreshingly simple and actually delicious. Forget the prepackaged, sugar-spiked grains. Instead, nourish your body with real, whole foods that stabilize your energy and strengthen your heart from the inside out. Here are his top 3 breakfast swaps, all Cardiologist approved. First, steel-cut oats, cooked slowly, not the instant kind. Use cinnamon, add a spoonful of chia seeds, maybe a splash of unsweetened almond milk. You get fiber, healthy fats, and slow-releasing carbs, all without the sugar crash. Second, chia pudding. Make it the night before with almond or coconut milk. Add a few fresh berries, a sprinkle of cinnamon or vanilla. It's rich in omega-3s and fiber, which help reduce inflammation and support brain function. Third, eggs with leafy greens and avocado. Cook the eggs in olive oil or grass-fed butter. Add sautéed spinach, arugula, or kale. Slice up half an avocado. This combo is packed with healthy fats, protein, and nutrients that fuel your brain and your heart. Each of these breakfasts does 3 critical things. They stabilize your blood sugar, so you feel steady and focused. They support arterial health, reducing stiffness and improving blood flow. And they keep you full, so you're not reaching for a sugary snack an hour later. They're warm, satisfying, easy to digest, and most importantly, they give your body what it actually needs at this stage of life. And no, this isn't about giving up flavor. It's about upgrading it. It's about choosing foods that energize you, not ones that quietly drain your system. Your breakfast is more than just a meal. It's your body's first line of defense. It sets the tone for your hormones, your inflammation levels, your energy, even your mood. Food isn't just about comfort, it's medicine. When chosen wisely, it becomes your most powerful daily ally. So you're not missing out. You're gaining energy, mental clarity, smooth digestion, and a heart that doesn't have to work overtime just to keep you going. And remember that healthy granola bar in your pantry? The one with the sleek branding and the Heart Smart sticker on the label? You might want to take a second look, because up next we're going to uncover one of the biggest hidden traps in the so-called healthy senior diet. And chances are, even your doctor might be getting this one wrong. Stay with me. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about a trap that so many well-meaning seniors fall into. And it starts with a light breakfast. You know the kind. A slice of whole wheat toast with jam. A bowl of cereal with skim milk. Or maybe a fruit-only smoothie with a scoop of protein powder. These meals feel simple, gentle, easy to digest. But here's the kicker. They're actually one of the worst ways to start your day if you're over 60. Here's why. These so-called light breakfasts spike your blood sugar quickly and then crash it hard. It's a roller coaster effect. Your blood sugar rises fast, giving you that short-lived energy burst. Then, about 60-90 minutes later, it plummets. And what follows? Brain fog, irritability, sudden hunger, fatigue. You find yourself reaching for a snack, maybe a granola bar, maybe coffee with sweetener, maybe something salty or carby, just to stay alert. Over time, this constant sugar spike and crash cycle wears down your body's ability to manage insulin. That's called insulin resistance, and it's a major red flag for aging health. Insulin resistance leads directly to stubborn belly fat, fatigue that doesn't go away with sleep, increased inflammation in your joints, and worst of all, a higher risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and dementia. And it all starts with that innocent, light breakfast. Now here's the powerful shift. Instead of eating something that sends your blood sugar on a roller coaster, what if you gave your body a stable, grounded start? One that feeds your cells with steady energy, balances your hormones, and keeps inflammation low, all before 10 a.m. That's where the fat-fiber-protein plate comes in. It's a simple framework. Here's what it looks like. Fat. Slices of ripe avocado. A spoonful of extra virgin olive oil drizzled over greens. A handful of almonds or walnuts. Fiber. Flax seeds sprinkled on your eggs or oats. Fresh berries, like blueberries or raspberries. Leafy greens. Think spinach, arugula, kale protein. Pasture-raised eggs, boiled or scrambled in butter or olive oil. Greek yogurt, unsweetened and full fat. Or a warm mug of collagen-rich bone broth, soothing, nourishing, and fantastic for joints and digestion. When you combine fat, fiber, and protein, here's what happens. Your blood sugar stays stable. Your energy feels steady. Your cravings disappear. And your brain, sharp and focused all morning long. You're not just having breakfast. You're laying a solid foundation for your hormones, your mood, your immune system, and your aging process, all before the day has even begun. So next time you think light and healthy, ask yourself, is it stabilizing me or spiking me? Because how you start your morning often determines how your entire body feels for the rest of the day. This is where the silent sabotage begins or ends. And coming up, we'll look at the final, and perhaps most overlooked, culprit that keeps seniors inflamed, fatigued, and unknowingly accelerating aging, even when they're trying to eat clean. Stay with me. Let's wrap up with a hidden culprit that affects nearly every senior, even those who think they're eating well. It's not as flashy as blood sugar spikes. It's not as well understood as cholesterol or blood pressure, but it's everywhere. It's called chronic inflammation, and it's quietly at the root of most age-related diseases. Inflammation isn't always bad. In fact, short-term inflammation is how your body heals wounds or fights off a cold. But when inflammation becomes constant, when your body stays in defense mode day after day, that's when the real damage begins. And here's the scary part. You might not feel it at first, but it's there, in the tightness in your knees, in the way you bruise more easily, in your dry, irritated skin, in the fogginess or forgetfulness that wasn't there a few years ago. Most chronic conditions, from arthritis to heart disease to even memory loss, begin with this silent inflammation. And one of the most common triggers? The foods we eat every single day. Especially the ones marketed as healthy, like cereal bars, low-fat muffins, flavored yogurts, granola clusters, wheat toast, or fruit juices. They often contain refined grains, added sugars, and industrial seed oils, like canola or corn oil, that irritate the lining of your blood vessels, stiffen your joints, and weaken your immune system. You may think you're being health conscious, but your breakfast could be feeding the very fire you're trying to put out. Now here's the solution, and it's surprisingly simple. You don't need an expensive prescription. You don't need a complicated elimination diet. You just need to build a plate that calms inflammation instead of causing it. Here are some anti-inflammatory swaps to start with. Instead of wheat toast, try almond flour bread or a quick vegetable hash with eggs. Instead of boxed cereal, go for a chia seed pudding or overnight oats made with cinnamon and flax. Instead of fruit juice, sip on warm lemon water with a pinch of turmeric. It's powerful, natural, and easy on your system. Instead of margarine or canola oil, cook with olive oil or grass-fed butter. These small, doable changes work with your body, not against it. And here's what often happens within just a few weeks of making these swaps. Less joint pain, fewer energy crashes, better digestion, clearer skin, sharper thinking, and for many, a quiet return to feeling like themselves again. The body has a powerful ability to heal when we stop overloading it with food that causes stress. So if you've been frustrated by symptoms that seem vague or hard to explain, or if you felt like your doctor keeps offering pills instead of answers, start by looking at your plate, because what you put on it today can either speed up aging or help you reverse it. It's that powerful. And best of all, it's completely in your control. Coming up next, let's bring it all together. So, let's bring this full circle. That innocent-looking bowl of granola, the one you've trusted for years, maybe even decades, might be aging your heart faster than you ever realized. It's not just about sugar or calories. It's about inflammation. It's about what that food does to your arteries, your joints, your brain, especially as you age. But here's the best part. Now you know. And when you know better, you can choose better. And better feels better. This journey isn't about fear. It's not about blaming you for the past. It's about empowerment. Because you've earned the right, after a lifetime of caring for others, to care for yourself with wisdom and intention. You've lived through fads, diet myths, and mixed messages. You've been told to cut fat, to eat carbs, to avoid cholesterol, to chase this superfood and that supplement. But now, you're ready for truth. You're ready to eat for you, not for the food industry, not for outdated advice, and not for quick fixes. Your breakfast should reflect your wisdom. It should match the strength, the experience, and the resilience you've built over decades. It should fuel your independence, not chip away at it. And today, you made a powerful shift. You learned the truth about so-called healthy breakfasts. You heard directly from a heart doctor who's been in the trenches with aging patients. And you walked away with simple, satisfying, science-backed swaps you can start using tomorrow, even today. That is no small thing, because every choice you make from this point forward, every bite, every breakfast, every ingredient, is a step toward protecting your heart, sharpening your mind, and preserving your freedom. And if you're still watching right now, it means you're not just interested, you're committed. So let's keep this conversation going. Tell me below, what's your go-to breakfast right now? Are you still eating cereal or granola? Have you tried chia pudding or avocado toast? I'd love to hear from you.